Right. Here we are again, I think. Yeah, something like that. Um, I do believe I have some more programming to do, which we'll see how that goes. I am currently trying to finish off, let me think, how to phrase this. Making it so that the bots and stuff will target the right things. Right, so last time we got gathering working. Let's start with that, right? So if I put these up here. So we added the concept of like carry weight characters. We made it calculate whether they can fit the resources in their inventory. We we would figure out if we filled up our one there. If we filled up our inventory, we'd go and deposit it. Then we would what are we doing? Otherwise we would gather more resources, or we would go and kill something if it was attackable. And then we would go off and find the nearest storage location, blah blah blah. So, obviously that's all well and good, but we kind of need we need to be able to filter out whether or not we're attacking something that we can attack, or we're attacking something that's or whether it's friend or foe basically, or we're storing something that's friend or foe. So what we need to do, um, so we have how do we approach this one then? So we've got let's go in the attack method first. That will be the easiest place to start. So we have this damageable interface, and if I remember, oh, hang on, we need to do this from the controller. 1 second. Here we go. Right. So in our right-click functionality, that's where we tell it to attack things. So on right-click, here we go. So we get the damageable thing. And this is the point where we need to decide whether or not we can attack it. So we probably want to do this in here. So we want if damageable.get t not equal to get RTS character. Oh, we want to get our overseer class. So we have this overseer. So we should probably have a method for getting this. So we want something like this. Spelling, right, something like that. This will have, yeah, let's do something like this. So I'm just going to stop this. So we want a property for our overseer. So come into here, somewhere in here, just drop it onto here, have our overseer. And if that's null. Then we do this. And we cast the pawn to that. And then we return. Don't know why it's having problems with this. Oh, hang on. That will probably help. And then in these, we can do this. And we can get rid of that. Oh, whoops. And we can do the same in here. There we go, right. So the overseer is the actual player, the player, the sort of the overall character that we're controlling that doesn't have a physical presence, but it holds, you know, all of the player's information rather than the individual units. So now when we go back up to here, we want to check whether we have the same team, and so we need to be able to, where are we going? Come on. Oh, hang on, let me do that. Right, there we go. So this needs a get team. It needs a team and an owner method property. So we want this is private, so we want int32 of team and int2 of owner. So the team is the overall team that we're on. That's so we could have multiple players on the same team, and the owner is more like an ID specific to us. So for instance, when you click on a building, if you are on the same team, you'll be able to see its stats and everything that, you know, an enemy would, but you wouldn't be able to click on any of the buttons to do any unit production, because you know you're not the actual owner of it. But you also wouldn't be able to attack it because you're on the same team. So we have this, and we need to encapsulate the field. And same with owner, because I'm lazy. Nah, this is really useful. It does all of the trivial work for you, so yep, that's cool. Now when we go into the controller, we can do a comparison on the teams. So we can go to here and we can do get team. So if they're on a different team to us, we can attack them. Right, simple as that. That's interesting. So blocking hit. Let's do. We want to be able to move units to a location as well. So this is something that I'd forgotten about before. So we can now we can only attack entities that aren't on the same team as us. So initially we won't be able to attack anything because I haven't made that a possibility yet. There was another problem that occurred to me. No, it should be okay. Hang on, let me let me check something, because building here is damageable, and the damageable interface, blah 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 blah, and building has yeah, okay. Building has owner health. Okay, right. So we need to change building so it actually returns. Building stats dot theme. There we go. Okie doke. Sorry, that was just something I thought I needed to fix, and I did. So we want to have move units. So this is going to form a similar function to this. And this needs a location to go to. So we want a vector which is location. This is going to be an f vector, location, move to location, there we go. And then we create the declaration, which is move units to a location. And now we should be able to select units, right click on the map, and they move. So that's another thing that we've figured out. This is interesting. So we got the damageable. I think what's blocking hit represent indicates blocking collision if it's false. There was no hit, or it was an overlap or a touch. Oh, okay. We still need to be inside here, I guess. Yeah, okay, fine. If it's resource, doesn't matter. In any other case, this is basically if we click the ground. So that should be okay. I'm just going to update this. When I upload this to YouTube, I'll update the numbers and stuff again. Keep it all in line. All right, let's see what we've got anyway. So we've made it so we can only attack enemy units if they are not on the same team as us. Which is nice. And then we need to make it in the AI here when it tries to find somewhere to store the resources up. Oh, hang on. What have we forgotten? Oh. Board declaration, and I think we already understand it. Yeah, I think we do. Let's try that. Yeah, so we come in here, and what we need to do here is we loop through them and check whether they are are on our team or not. Oh yeah. So my last stream, I made some models for the game. Um, I did find some issues with this, so if you bear with me a sec. I have to make it smaller because the AI couldn't follow it. So I actually made some quick 3D, I say quick, some 3D models in Cubicle. Nice little building that probably needs to be widened. I'll sort that out. Some really crappy deer. Some gold and some trees, basically. It was good fun, and now you can clearly see what's what, which is the more important thing. So, in order to test this, so we need an NPC. Okay, so we're gonna have another one over here. So, currently everybody's team and owner is set to 0. That's because we're not like creating, we're not actually spawning the units in the world and setting them to the owner based on the person who's produced them. If you had like a town hall, you'd produce a worker, and then it'd set the team and the owner correctly to the same stats that the overseer has, basically. Um, hmm. Okay, and now what we need to do is hit play. So, in theory, if I select this guy, yeah, right, so I can actually make them move now, which is a pretty fundamental thing in these. But I shouldn't be able to make them attack these. I think he's just moving, yeah. So I can't currently attack anything at all, which is good, which means that my code worked. If I put this in team 1 and I hit play, and we select this guy, now we should be able to attack this guy. Should be able to. Oh, hang on. Is this the collision nonsense again? Yeah, it is. One sec. So I'm still not sure how this needs to be set up differently, but the mouse isn't interpreting it correctly, so I'll just fix it globally on here. Oh, that's interesting. It does default to that. Oh, there's a mesh and a... Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. Right, we'll leave it at this, and I will do a proper... I'll query people on Reddit or something for that, because I have no idea. Right, can we attack this guy now? Can I move? Okay, let's see what the hell is going on. If at all. How odd. Okay. Huh, hello. Team owners 1. Right, and then where are we looking? Yeah, somewhere in here. There it is. 0 and 0. Okay. What are we doing in attack target then? It doesn't reach it. How on earth does it manage that? Let's go back. This is not working for some reason. Because it would break entirely if this was coming back as null. And it was set. So it doesn't run this at all. So I can still move you around. I can attempt to attack that. You're just moving to that. And you're not. How has this broken it entirely? Alright, let's be a bit more specific about this. We're just gonna do that. Yeah, hey, how's it going? Shouldn't have to do this. But I don't see how this isn't functioning. It's gonna be super explicit, right? Stop this. Do that. Yeah, it's so we've got pretty much all the basics set up for a real-time strategy game. So we have resources you can gather from, if I actually select the units and stuff. So this guy's going to go over and, like, you know, gather some gold. Eventually, when he gets there, the meshes aren't aligned, and then he'll go back and store it, and then we can we should be able to go and get this tree here. And then he gathers the tree very quickly, drops it off, the usual kind of stuff. And for some reason, my combat seems to have stopped working after I've made this very slight change. That's interesting. That shouldn't be the case. Why is this the case? Am I mad? Like, wait. This guy... yeah, this guy's on team 0, owner 0. This guy is team 1, owner 0. This guy is 0, 0. So this one should be able to attack this one. Huh. Okay. 6 years, but not like exclusively all the time kind of thing. Oh, and that's why. There's the problem. There's the problem. Helps if you override the sorry, return the correct values. Yeah, so like I've been doing it quite solidly for a couple of months. I previously made an arcade game that works with AI that fly around and shoot people and all this that kind of stuff. But this is a project I've been doing for, I don't know, 6 hours now or something. Not today, just an hour here and there. And I'm just trying to get it sort of on par with other. Hey, yeah, it works now. Cool. On par with other real-time strategy games. So these guys are fighting, and you can see the health going down. Awesome. So even though no animation or anything, but the health of that character is being depleted, so that's cool. Wonderful. How does this work now? Okay, so one of the main things. Oh, that's fair enough. It's oh, it's one of these things where I could probably demonstrate uh demonstrate what I'm doing in real time, which I kind of am, and maybe it will give you an idea. But this is like um this is all using concepts like interfaces, overriding, sort of inheritance and overriding methods and stuff, and it's all a lot of like core C++ concepts. So as an example, these characters, oh god, I really need to change the mouse so I can see it better. So this character and this character both implement the damageable interface, which in code is this. It's an I damageable interface, which I made myself. And this allows me to assess like whether or not a character can be damaged, and if it can be, check its health and stats and everything. So I can get its health, its team, all the wherever it's gone, all the properties here I have access to. That's very useful. But I'm going to run into an issue with this, and I need to sort this out. Yeah, okay. But yeah, hopefully I'll make some proper guides or something. This is kind of a tutorial, but more of a I learn as I go, and maybe so do you, if I can help it. I can't promise I'll be able to make everyone fully understand what I'm doing, but I've done this from scratch like a week ago or something now. Trying stuff out, encountering errors and bugs, fixing them live and stuff, and because people don't often show the errors and things that occur when they do tutorials and stuff. um I suppose, I mean, it's not the most trivial thing to understand, but I think it's entirely possible to explain it in a way that anyone can understand it. But there's like a lot of minimum requirements that you need to be able to understand to get into it like this. Because I may not have, many lines of code for doing certain things, but the reason I've been able to do that is because I know how everything else works with each other and how to make efficient code and stuff. So yeah. So I think I'm going to run into a problem and I think I need to fix it right now. So I'm going to make another interface. Actually, I'm going to explain this problem before I try and fix it. So currently we have this concept of a team and an owner on the damageable interface. So the problem we might run into is if something is a storage which isn't damageable, how do we know what team the storage belongs to? I'm just wondering whether that will ever be the case. Would you ever have a building that you can't store things in? I think it makes sense to make a new interface for this regardless, just for the concept of it. So imagine we had a box that you couldn't destroy, but it could store objects in it. But we should never have that scenario because everything is made by the player. So all storages are damageable. But I don't want to make that assumption because that'd be bad. So we're going to make a new interface. A very simple, very, very simple interface. Don't really know the functions like mapped character So most of the stuff that I do with regards to movement is driven by AI. And I literally just in C++, there's literally, I just use move to actors most of the time, or location. But character movement can be done with impulses. How do I do it? Hang on. I'll let that sort itself out and I'll find you an example. I can't remember whether it's in the controller or the... Yes, right. Come on, you can do it, I believe. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Right, where do we actually do our movement? Here we go. Oh, geez. So this is all like the default movement and stuff. This is for a twin stick shooter. But I think the premise is the same regardless of what kind of game that you're making. But you essentially do things. I mean, this is all just maths, right? Most of this. So because this is a twin stick shooter, you have to imagine we're using either WASD or like a controller on a stick. So this would be W and S, and this could be A or D. So you've got forwards and back movement, left and right movement. And then all we're doing is we're making it so we're calculating the movement direction, which is a combination of the X and Y values. So how much are we adding to, like W and A would make you move diagonally left, W and D makes you move diagonally down right, all that kind of stuff. And then you give it the direction, you give it the move speed, how long it's been, and then you just shove in the movement input onto the character. Yeah. I'm not the best at all, yeah. This is the sort of stuff that I know just works, and I don't think I ever have to figure this stuff out or make changes to it, because that's just how it is. But I mean, I like to try and explain. It's the point of this. It'd be unfortunate if I didn't. Okay, so we now got this thing called a team interface. So we need to retract this, shove it in here, get rid of all of this. Yeah, I know. Blah, blah, blah. And then we come into here, commandeer this, shove it into here. Still need to figure out pure virtual functions. This is going to be team interface. Okie doke. And now we make characters implement the team interface as well. Yeah. Public team interface. So if I go back to the so these methods, so this is our get health method. So anything that we want in our game to have health should have this interface, right? So we've got this interface here, and it allows the classes to take damage, have health, maximum health. So in this instance, when you have the get health method, this part of the this signature for this method is a float. So this is it's a method called get health, and it returns a float. And because this is an interface, these values don't actually matter to us, because we'll be changing what this is. But by default, anything that implements this code will return 1 when the method get health is called. So it's like you'll have a function that's like, I don't know, get name, and you'll return somebody's name. So you could have something like fstring, and then you could return, I don't know, something like that. And so this first part here is the return value of the method get name, and in this case we're returning Jeff for whatever reason, but this could be whatever we want. It doesn't matter. And then you could, put some code in here that calculates a name or something, or you could have a struct that's full name, that's somebody's like first name, last name, and stuff like that. I hope that made some kind of sense. That's all there is to this. If you have void, it means it doesn't return any values, and if you have you can have floats, you can have other objects. So if I go to my thing here, so let me go back down to an easy one. So we have a method here which is called get overseer, and it returns an instance, a pointer to an instance of an RTS overseer, which is one of our own classes. And we basically return, if overseer doesn't exist, we convert the pawn that the controller is using to an overseer, because we know it will be, and then we return that value. Something like that. I know that's probably a lot to take in, but that's the crux of how methods work. It's first part what it returns, and then the name of it, and then you can have parameters in the methods. And these can be literally anything. They could be other classes, they could be strings, integers, floats, doubles, pointers to other methods. It's whatever you want it to be. Yeah. Right, so now we have that concept. Why the hell are we looking now? We don't need that. We just need this. Okay, so now we have a team interface. And now in the controller code, instead of this, we do team interface. So for instance, we want access to the team interface on an object. So we do get team. I'm just going to call it get team actor other. Whoops. So we want to cast our actor to a team interface. Then we shove this into the header file. So now we can get the team interface. So we go up into here, and we go team interface. We get a pointer to it, and we call it team. And we do get team, target found. And now we do team. Get team. And we are good to go. I think. Let's rebuild this and see what breaks. Alright, we've missed something. Oh, stab it. Forward declaration. Let's try that one again, shall we? I'm just about to go into the AI. Let's close all but this. So now we can get anything with a storage. So yeah, we need to go into here. So now we can loop over storage actors. So we want for a actor store in storage actors ifs. Okay. So we go here and we go team interface team equals cast you. Oh, cheers for the follow. I will probably be streaming this like 3 times a week, the actual like development of the code and stuff, but I'll more than likely be streaming just general programming stuff as and when I can. I hope. I plan to keep this going for quite a while, and if I'm not doing this project, I'll probably do like an RPG or something next, and then maybe, I don't know, a puzzle game or something, and just keep going at it basically. And yeah, no problem. I have, Reddit, and all of my code is on my GitHub. It's everything that I'm doing here is on here that I try and keep in line. So this is a link to the code for this exact project. So you can see everything that I've got going on in here. You're more than welcome to copy bits out of it and stuff, or try and use it for your own projects and stuff. It's, in my opinion, it's all very standard stuff. I'm not doing anything particularly out the box. So anyone's more than welcome to take the code and stuff and do with it as they will. My whole intention with all of this is to just make decent games. Oh yeah, okay, of course it would be that. I'm being an idiot. Right, there we go. Okay. So now we can do if team dot get owner equals get RTS character get owner. Yeah, we can't do get owner because that's already used. Okay, oh, right, here we go. Yeah, okay. I just need to change the name of some things. Get owner is already being used, so this is going to be get player owner, owning player. It's whatever. Owning player, ownering, no, owning. Cool. I can always change this later. Ooh, it updated all of them. Look at that. So now we can do okay, that is ridiculous. What? Did you not change this? Why? What's wrong with you? Right. Round 2. There we go. Right. Goodness me. Okay. Then we can literally do set blah 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 store. Alright, now we can get rid of this. Oh, right, back to it. I'm gonna close this. And we're gonna run this. And we're gonna make 2 town halls. And one of them we can go to, and the other one we can't. And see if it works. That looked like a suspicious error. We'll be needing to fix that one. Only player. Should be fine. Hang on, I think I need to... Wait, why doesn't this... Oh, fuck it. Hang on. I need to fix this. Get to... Oh, we're not actually using it. That's why it didn't break before. Okay, let's just close this down. I haven't made any changes. Right, round 2. We'll change that in a bit. Okay, right. So we've got this one, and now we have this one. Okay. So this one is going to be the one that we're going to be able to run to. No. Click on that. So we want to make this one owner 1, which will mean we shouldn't run to it because the owner of this particular NPC is 0. So when I select this and go to the tree, we run over, we go cut the tree down, and it runs to the other one. Suck it. And if I leave it, it will go back to the trees. Wonderful. Hey, would you look at that? And I should be able to attack this. And it will be taking some damage, but we can't... Yeah. Okay. Now we need to put in a contingency plan for neutral things. So let's see. So we want like animals and stuff to default to a particular value, so they don't actually technically start with an owner. So I think we need to do stat start owner. Let's make it -1, right? Because it's an integer, it can go negative. I feel like I need to do this. Don't know why I'm... Oh, whoops. Unsure as to why I'm not. Do we not have one in the base character? I assumed we did. We do. Well, that was kind of the whole point. Okay, whatever. Do these not... yeah, they're in... Okay. Oh, stop it. Right. Okay, whatever. So animals are now -1, and on the player controller, when we try and kill something, here we want to do, it's either get owning player. Okay, so now we have the ability to attack animals, because all animals will default to having -1 as the player that owns them. So let's see if that's the case. And we can use that to represent neutral targets. Maybe we could have like tribes or something that don't belong to a team at all, and they just all go and do their daily lives, but they don't interact with anything, or it's like leftover ruins or something to that effect. And this still allows us to technically own animals. So I don't know, if we wanted to do proper like pig farming or something, you could make a farm that spawns actual animals, and then the farm kills them, but they're still like walking around doing their own thing. Fight. Are you? Oh, definitely not. I still don't have the ability to actually move around the map myself. I hope you're going to kill it. Yep, that looks promising. So we can go on to this one. See, its health's gone, its food's drained. Runs over to this one. See, its health taking damage. Go on, get it. Sick him. And then he goes off and stores it. And he comes back, gathers more food. And he goes off and stores it. And he comes back and gathers more food. And it disappears. No, it doesn't. Okay, we need to. Cool. All right. Nice. All right. Let's do something simple. Can I wonder. Probably. So we're going to make a new resource. We're going to select it. We're just going to call this berry bush. It's going to be a food resource. It's going to have 100 food. And we're just going to throw on a cube. Just do that, whatever. And then we whack down the berry bush. Lift this up a bit. Make a few of them. Do that. And when we hit this, we select that, tell them to fight that. It should just work. Just waiting for the guy to finish off this stubborn ass deer. Cool. And should see whichever one he's gone for. This one. Yeah. It's taking food from it. Nice. Okay. We can be a bit more specific as to the nature of which resources that they go and find. Perhaps a subclass of resource or something that's like animal or something to that effect. Perhaps. I'm really frustrated with this model. I do actually want to widen it, because that ain't right. I mean, it's nice. It's whatever. It was an attempt at making a building. So yeah, so we can't attack our teammates, we can attack enemies, we can now gather from deers and stuff again. So I'm just trying to think of the core concepts we're missing. Obviously, the idea of building things. Yeah, building stuff, using buildings to produce units, research. Obviously, like AI that spawns buildings and produces units. That's going to be the fun one. That's going to be like a really interesting sort of AI to create, because it's going to have loads of decisions to make on a regular basis. But if we do a good enough job, we could make an AI that massively outperforms a player, because there's no delay between their actions. But we also have to consider, like, if you imagine you have an AI, and the only reason it does anything is because it's at some point made a decision that that's something it needs to do. And so we literally, like, obviously the end goal in a strategy game is to beat the other player. But the way that you achieve that goal branches out from several hundred different solutions. So we're going to need to like narrow down the amount of decisions it could potentially make. And with that in mind, we need to do things like for here. So we need to maybe give it like an archetype or something, sort of an overall. This particular AI is trying to be like a rush-based AI, or they're going to be economy focused or combat focused, or are they going to be like ranged focused, melee focused, horses, and all that kind of stuff. And we can make a lot of broad decisions before the AI comes into play, which will narrow down the scope of it. And then we could almost have entirely separate AI for these different types or sort of gameplay styles. That behave very differently, but they all have like the same core concepts. So like, the ability to build things, they understand what buildings produce what units, they know what resources everything needs. We'd also need to start considering how they place their buildings. Like, we need to figure out maybe like a grid system, maybe even like a pathfinding concept where you give them points for placing a fort that's surrounded by the most possible buildings, and it's closer to the enemy, and then they build all of their housing and storage further away from the enemy and at the back of their base, and stuff like that. It's going to be a very, very interesting sort of set of decisions and stuff to produce for an AI. So, stop talking now. um, yeah, okay. So yeah, the next major thing that we need to do is UI. And that is a thing I haven't done in a very long time. How do we approach this one? What do I do? So we have a controller. We have a HUD. We use the controller to write to the HUD. If I remember correctly. Oh, whoops. Go to one of my old projects. My very old project. I actually have a whole folder for the UI. Yeah, it's all text strings. Oh yeah, I remember some of this. Yeah, nutrient floats, colors, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I made skill trees and stuff. Oh, that was just a basic test one, I'm guessing. Yeah, so we extend user widget, and then I think when we go to our controller, back, we were doing things like, yeah, so we have the widgets, we have access to them, and then we would create the widget, add it to the viewport, change visibility of things. So this was toggling. This is creating the user interface initially. Oh yeah, I need to do this. I'll do that at some point. Calculate actions. Let's have a look. Probably like an open inventory thing somewhere. No, pause. Here we go. Yeah, so we just set the visibility, open and close it kind of thing. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's get a working example, shall we? So we're gonna go to tools, we're gonna keep this real simple. Because I know there's the slate system, but I've never used it before. Is it hard? Base scene. So what you usually do, get a user widget. This is going to be like character details UI. All right. So we're going to create this. Wait for it to do its thing. I'm not going to go too far into this, but it should be relatively straightforward. If I go back to this, we go to one of our UI as examples. There, reload all. We go to inventory UI. Yeah, it's just U function blueprint callable. Cool, nothing fancy. So we come into here. It stops, and we go. It's doing that annoying thing again. Let me close this and reopen it. Okay, so we come into here and we go public. So we want I don't know, float, get health, and we do U function. Is that right? I've probably botched this in blueprint callable. Let's just copy this. Character stats, get rid of this, get rid of that. Don't know why that hasn't done anything there, but whatever. Create the implementation, and then we go private character stats, encapsulate the field. We're really going to botch this one, so it'll be interesting. we're just gonna slap something permanently on the screen for now. Yeah, so we get the class, and then we create widget, add it to, okay, right, cool. Just gonna commandeer this, go into our play controller. We're gonna go up here. We actually don't need this cursor to world anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of it, I think. No, I'll leave it for now, actually. Don't worry, I'm chatting shit. This will break, but we'll change it later. This is going to be character display. Private. This is going to be a view character details UI. Just call it character UI. Back into, so we don't need that, we don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Keep this nice and this will actually be a sorry, this is wrong. This is going to be a T subclass of user widget. Let me go back into the controller. So, yep, character UI, and then blah diddy blah. Where did we do it in here? Generate UI. So we want a begin play. I'm kind of rushing this, but I just want a kind of a quick proof of concept to see if this works at all. So we're going to do virtual void override implementation. Super, always call the super and begin play and tick. Your game will simply cease to function otherwise. So we want this to be, get rid of, collapse these. So participant UI. That's the class. We want one called, one of them is the class, one of them is the actual thing. This is going to be a template. This is actually it. Character details. Whatever. Whoops. This is going to return stats dot current health. This is going to be template. Don't do that. It's now the template class. Okay, so we have all of that set up. This won't function yet because we haven't made it. We need to should that not be okay? Who knows? Right, let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, add include to that. Okay, let's try that one again. Okay. Cannot convert. Oh, it's not a pointer to a class, it is the class. And then we need to make the UI, which will just, I'll literally drag a label on. Yeah, see, I thought this would be the problem. Let's see. Uh, hmm? Why are you having problems with this? There we go. Right. So we'll complain about this, and then we we create the UI, we get a reference to it. You always add the underscore C at the end because that gets the class rather than the actual blueprint in of itself. So we go here, create a blueprint class, and we go character details UI. So we do this. This is going to be character details. Go onto here, get this, and then we're literally going to drag some text. We're going to bind the text to did it not? Hang on. No. Go back to designer. Oh, yeah, okay, hang on a sec. So then we get the text, and this is going to be is get health. And then we just do the conversion from float to text that it does for us. We hit save. We get copy the reference. We copy that into here. We add the old underscore C. We close the Umbro engine. We launch the Umbro engine. No, we don't. Hang on. Then we need to, in wherever we set this up, I think I've gone past it. We literally do character UI dot we want set stats and we want to go character stats cs dot current health equals random number, set the stats of the UI, shove one of these on the end, and hopefully this all works. It should be visible. So obviously we'll change this to behave completely differently, but just so that we can get a number on the screen that's gone from the controller, the user interface that we've created, and then the values in here. Once we've got all of that sorted, we can make this update dynamically as you click on things on the screen. So we're just going to not open snipping tool. We're going to go into here. We're going to make sure this is nice and visible. I don't know why it's so fucking large, right? Text box. Where's the font? No, it'll probably be font. It'll be that font one there. Make it massive. Yeah, it's whatever. It's white. It should be quite visible. Hit play. Okay, nothing happened. So we come into here, immediately see if we got this far. Hit stop, we hit play. We didn't. So we come up to here, hit stop, we hit play. What's not happening? That's no. I've got these the wrong way around. So we hit continue. We want to check if the if we found the template and if that's been set. I don't know why this would ever need to be the case. We stop this running, hit compile. Wait for the damn thing to compile. Come on, you can do it. I believe. Excellent. And number on the screen. Oh, sorry. Ta-da! Number on the screen. Exactly that. Written in text on the screen. And now if I go to the widget, I can literally do that. Can we anchor this differently? How do you do this? Character details. Padding. Visibility, transform, clipping, navigation, location. Who knows? But then you can do some really cool stuff. You've got all the all lots of fontsy things. There's panels. Normally you shove in like a good old grid panel. Somehow. I'm unsure as to why that isn't working. Wrap with grid panel, please. There we go. And then we can shove in buttons. We should be able to. Oh, right. Don't we? Okay, who knows? Who the hell knows? Now I've got to do that fun faffing around with UI nonsense. I thought this. There is something very wrong with this button. What on earth is wrong with you? That style. Why is it so goddamn small? Who knows? Don't know what that does. That moves that's column fill, okay. That's moving those around. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's row 1. Yeah, I see. I remember. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. And then you can I don't know, it like auto resizes things and stuff. I'm actually surprised. Is it like see-through or something? Who knows? Compile, whatever, it go. It's still there. So yeah, now we can just faff around with UI. But the idea would be, for example, we would do something like right click. Something like this. So in here, we could do current health equals this. So when we right click on something, it changes the health to the text. So if I compile the code again, and we hit play, changes to 100, 100, 1000. Variables don't have any health. Nice. And so now we have some really, really rudimentary, crappy UI that we can work with. And we can make boxes, and we can make UI that goes inside other UI that changes the stuff that's displayed on the screen. So we can have it when we left click on something, we get a little details panel that comes up in the bottom right based on what we've selected. And then we can have a little like a I'll actually go into the UI. So we could have let me just make another UI class. Widget blueprint. Just gonna call this example. So we're gonna go in here. So we're literally gonna have something like text in the bottom. This is gonna be, I don't know, health, and then we've got damage, and we could come into here and we could have a nice little border, and these things are going to sit inside the border or not. Can you not have more than one thing in a border? Okay. Instead, we're going to have a grid panel, and then the damage and the health are going to sit in the grid panel, and then the damage is going to be lower, and then we select the grid panel, and then we align it, we move it, we move it, thank you. Move the grid panel over here. Size to content, thank you very much. And then we probably want some padding or something, wherever the hell that's gone. Who knows? No, that doesn't seem to do anything. It is what it is, so I'll delete them then. So we have like this health and damage thing. We expand this. Oh, that's just sizes to content all the time, doesn't it? So then we have some more text boxes. And this one's going to be right, this one's going to be right and down, and this is going to be, I don't know, 100 health, and let's plug in 12. So you've now got health and damage, and then we could have another group box, which is over here, and we could have some images that we add under here. And so, you know, we could have these, we could have one across there, and then it will be like, this one's the, hang on, let me, can I not? Okay, I guess I can't. Fucking zooming in, right? Put this over here, have a border under here, and sit the image in the border, and then have another border, and sit the image in another border. And apparently that doesn't work. Size to content. Okay, maybe not. I'm just playing around with things at the moment. Oh, move that one across. There we go. And we can have a border with like 20 padding. And another one with 20. Oh, hang on. Okay, and they've got padding. This should size the content. And now we've got these, and then each of these could be like a unit or something. And there could be a little number in the top corner. So we'd probably have to do another group box and then put the stuff in and blah blah blah. And each of these components could be a separate user interface panel or something, just a completely different class that manages stuff all by itself. So when we, for instance, perform select units, this box here could just be its own class, and we pass it in an array of characters, and it brings up an icon and a number, and the icon represents the units, an individual unit, and the number is how many of those same unit types are in the group. And then when we select a unit, these stats down the bottom change to represent what it has, you know, the usual shenanigans. And we can just go to town with it, really. And then we can make one for the buildings, which would be the same premise, where you'd have you just whack in another grid panel up here, and then this one can literally be buttons. And we could just have a grid panel buttons. We size the content, which I don't understand why it doesn't do it by default. Why the hell did my grid panel go? Okay, do buttons have like a size or something? Who knows? That's going to be row 1, column 1, column 2. Buttons don't seem to inherently have a size. Tooltip text. Do they have text? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, they're just non-existent. Can we put text on a button? Okay, we can put text on a button. Alright, buttons can have text boxes, everyone. Alright, fair play. I am unsure as to why the text is so large by default. Let's make that 12. There we go. And on each of these, this could be like, I don't know. This could be like, this could be like an archer. This could be like damage. This could be like, I don't know, whatever, worker or something. And then we have this, this. I don't want to select the grid, please. Please and thank you. Okay. Like, how am I supposed to move something that's so pinpoint accurate that me clicking on, even on the green thing that it's... Who knows? Who the hell knows? Does this have a literal... Again, it's got a literal position. Okay, it's 0... 2000? No? Oh, that's size. That doesn't matter. That's position. 1000? Alright, that's about right. Let's call it 700 and make this, I don't know, 1000. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then this is somewhere down here, and you click on a building, and these buttons appear based on the building you've selected, and blah blah blah. Right, well, we can have some fun with this. That'll actually surprise that works so smoothly. There is going to be a hell of a lot of UI for this game. So yeah, I'm gonna make individual classes for like a singular button and text combo that understands the function it performs. It knows, like, for instance, if you select a building, it produces a button that knows the building that it's linked to, so it can get the resources that you have access to. It knows whether to enable and disable itself. And then we need like an event-based update system so that all the UI can be updated when data changes, which will be like gathering resources, spending resources, if the building dies or not, all those kinds of things. We'll get there at some point. Let's leave it at that for now. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks for watching and stuff. This wasn't actually as long as I thought it was going to be, and we got the made it so people can attack stuff, and we have some really shitty UI on the screen, so we're off to a good start. I'll see you guys around.